Hey, what's up, guys? It's Josh over here with Mini Bike Apparel. And hey, I want to share a story with you guys today because we launched a new shirt. If you guys haven't seen it, it is the Can't Get Caught If They Can't Catch You t-shirt. We got some burnout marks and stuff going on here. Wanted to make a shirt that was for everybody who's into the stuff that I'm into, whether it's cars or trucks or motorcycles or mini bikes or, whatever it is, any kind of power sports kind of stuff, things that we all like to tinker with and have fun with. So I wanted to make a shirt that kind of would land well to everybody, not specifically towards my mini bike brand itself, but also the other people who are into some of the other designs that I make. So this is all for you guys, for all the hot rodders and everything out there. So anyway, and when I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted this design to be, a story kept popping up into my head, and I have a friend. We're gonna call him Haas, and Mr. Haas, he's a wild man. He's an extremely wild man, and I used to work with him at the motorcycle dealership when I was a technician, working on motorcycles and other power sports equipment. And I'd heard stories about Haas. He's kind of a wild one. He had previously gotten fired from the dealership at one point because we had a customer who was coming in, and I believe the customer was trading the bike in, and all the technicians were busy at the time. This was prior to me working there, so this is this is the story I got from him. But they needed somebody to ride the bike, and he was a parts guy, so he went ahead and hopped on this guy's bike, and it was a sport bike. I can't remember if it was a 600 or 750. I think it was like a Gixxer 600, I think is what it was. Anyway, my old dealership was right off the freeway there, and Mr. Haas proceeded to go ahead and take this motorcycle for a ride. Now, again, I'm going to emphasize that Haas is kind of a wild man. He's got no fear, and he can ride the heck out of a bike, any kind of motorcycle. So Mr. Haas hops up on the freeway there and goes off one way, and then he turns around and comes back the other direction with this motorcycle wide open in top gear, totally topped out. I think that particular model maxed out at 168 miles an hour. So here he comes ripping by the dealership on the interstate, and as he pulled back in, both the customer and our GM were standing outside watching him do this, and he was asked to leave and was fired on the spot. So that's one of the first stories I heard about Mr. Haas. And anyway, so as I'm working at the dealership, I got hired on, like I said, after this incident, and I got to know him. Like I said, he's a pretty good friend of mine, and one time he had invited me to go out riding with him, and I had just acquired a 2005 Suzuki Bandit 1200, which is a 1200cc kind of sport touring bike, I guess. And it's a fairly monster of a bike. It's got a lot of torque. It's not crazy top end fast, but I may have seen 180 on the speedometer. Take that for what you will. I think it was pretty fast though. And so I'm out riding this bike, and Mr. Haas had just acquired an old used, I think it was a Gixxer 750. So a fairly powerful bike, fairly potent motorcycle. And he was like, hey man, we should go riding after work one day. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's go riding. So I said, well, I need to go stop at my apartment. I was living in an apartment at the time, so we ran over to the apartment, dropped off some of my stuff. I'm like, well, let's go riding. Well, before we even get out of the gate of the apartment, he is doing rolling burnouts on this thing, and we're not even out on the street yet. So get out on the street, he's still doing burnouts, rolling burnouts, fishtailing this thing all over the street, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I just got myself into. Now, I consider myself fairly ballsy, but not on this level. So we take off. He's doing some crazy stuff already, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be crazy. So we take off, and immediately I can't keep up with him. He's taking off. We're not even into big speeds yet, and I can't keep up with him. He is just ripping on this bike. And we finally take it to the freeway, and I'm in the area that I lived. The freeways were pretty fast. It was not uncommon to see 85, 90 miles an hour from cars, let alone on motorcycles. And we are blasting by these cars, and we're just ripping along, and I can't keep up with him again. He's going so fast that like I'm seeing big numbers, and I still can't keep up with him, and I'm afraid to go too much faster because there is traffic around. I don't want to be one of those idiots that's whipping in and out of traffic. But he's like a mile ahead of me, so he slows down. Finally gets back. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't ride like that. Like, it's a fairly risky thing to do." So, anyway, so I try keeping up with him again, and we're seeing 150, 160, and I still can't. I can't hang it with him. Crazy rider, fun time, very exciting, very wild to see somebody ride like that. But anyway, still kind of exciting. But get back to work the next day, and he's giving me a hard time. Like, I can't keep up with him. Blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I'll be honest, I'm scared to ride. Like, we were pushing things. We were definitely pushing things. So he shows me. He's like, here, I got something to show you, and he brings up some paperwork, and it's a history of his with speeding tickets that he had with prior motorcycles, and he was talking about switching to cruisers, which he actually eventually did. He switched over to some cruisers. He's like, I don't need a fast bike. I want a motorcycle, but I want something that's going to get me in trouble. So the bike he ended up getting was a Vulcan 2000. If you guys don't know what those bikes are, it's a 2000 cc monster V-twin motorcycle. Not crazy top end fast, but loads and loads of torque. And he got that thing chopped up. It was radical. The dude could still do rolling burnouts on the freeway with it. Anyway, still wild. But he had showed me that some of the tickets he had gotten were from speeding. He's like, here's when I got my first sport bike. He's like, I got a bunch of tickets and I got rid of it. He's like, and then I got my next sport bike, and then a bunch of tickets after that, losing his license or whatever happened. And then he's like, and then I got rid of that. And he's like, then here's another motorcycle. Same thing, bunch of tickets ensued. And then he goes, and then you get towards the end of the list, you can get, and he goes, you see here where the tickets stop. He goes, this is where he had gotten a Kawasaki ZX-10, which is their leader bike, their 1000cc sport bike, which is, again, another monster of a motorcycle. And I said, oh, you finally got the bike and realized you should slow down. And he had said, no. He's like, in fact, it's the opposite. He's like, once I realized I had this bike, I realized I didn't have to stop anymore. So basically, he had gotten a bike that was so fast that he wasn't getting caught on anymore, which was pretty wild. I don't encourage any kind of illegal activities, you guys. And again, this is kind of a story, but that story always comes up in my head. And so as I was trying to figure out what shirt I want to design, I was like, this is a good one. This one fits really well with what's going on with all the crap today. We see a lot of mini bike guys like going out having fun. I know mini bikes aren't supposed to be ridden on streets. I don't advocate for that. But if there's a guy who's riding around in his neighborhood, maybe on a stock mini bike, no straight pipe or anything like that, just tooling around with his kids, like, he's not really hurting much. I don't see much problem in doing that. I don't think you should be drag racing down your neighborhoods, but we see this a lot, that people are trying to have innocent fun, and people are getting in trouble for it. And like I said, I understand illegal is illegal, but it's just kind of a bummer. But kind of the joke of this shirt is like, well, you're going to get caught if you're just having fun in your neighborhood. But if your bike's fast enough, or your car's fast enough, or your motorcycle's fast enough, like, you're not going to get in trouble because you can't get caught if they can't catch you. So anyway, that's kind of the idea behind the shirt. I wanted to share that with you guys. The stories always make me laugh, and I tell everybody about some of these wild stories that I've heard working in the power sports industry. There's a lot of wild and fun people out there. So anyway, guys, if you'd like to check out the website and grab your own shirt, please head over to minibikeapparel.com. You can head over to Instagram, click on the link on my profile. I've got my link tree set up there. And any description, wherever you're listening or watching this, I'll put it there as well. You guys can head over to minibikeapparel.com or click on the direct link on my link tree. Head over and check out and grab your own t-shirt. Right now is April 28th, 2022. We are doing a special promotion right now. We partnered up with RCF Mini Bikes. He is the guy that made the micro mini bike, the really small one that everyone always sees, a little 3 horsepower motor on it. He also makes a bunch of other frames, but we'd partnered up. We're actually giving away one of his micro drag bike frames, which is a super sick build. It's retails about $400 plus shipping, so you're looking at about a $500 product that we are giving away right now. If you guys would be interested in getting your own mini bike frame, all you got to do is go to minibikeapparel.com, and right now, for every $1 you spend, you'll get 1 point towards the drawing. It's a free thing. You go buy the shirts that you want, and you get entered for the giveaway. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to the story. Very entertaining, thinking about all that. But anyway, can't get caught. They can't catch you. Go grab your shirt. Thanks, guys. See you later.